Krill 448 sat at his desk on Council Station Omega 7, drinking his morning nutrient paste. He was bored. Very bored. For 20 years he had worked as a council observer. His job was simple: watch, record, and write reports. He had seen many things in 20 years. Big wars. Small wars. Peace agreements. Trade fights. Angry aliens shouting at each other. But today felt different. Today something was going to happen. He could feel it. The morning started normally. Different alien species walked through the station hallways. Some had 6 legs. Some had wings. Some breathed sulfur gas through special masks. The Gorthaks were fighting about shipping routes again. The Velrani diplomats were smiling their fake smiles. Just another boring Tuesday. Then the doors opened, and she walked in. Captain Maya Torres. Human. Tall. Strong. Wearing a military uniform with many medals. But Krill 448's eyes went to the small figure holding her hand. A human child. The girl looked about 8 years old. She had big brown eyes that seemed to look at everything with wonder. Her hair was tied in 2 braids. In her arms she carried a stuffed toy. It looked like some earth animal. Maybe a bear? The toy was old and worn, like it had been loved for many years. Other aliens stopped and stared. Human children were rare on the station. Very rare. "Daddy, why is everyone looking at me?" the little girl whispered. Her voice was soft and scared. Captain Torres knelt down beside his daughter. His hard military face became soft and gentle. "Because they have never seen anyone as brave as you, Emma," he said quietly. "Remember what we practiced?" Emma stood up straight. Her small shoulders pulled back. "Stand tall. Speak truth. Fear nothing," she said with a serious face. Krill 448 almost choked on his drink. These humans were teaching battle words to their children? Humans were already scary enough. Now they were training their young ones too? The meeting was supposed to be simple. Boring. Just paperwork about trade routes through the Kepler sector. Captain Torres was here to sign some documents. Nothing special. In and out. Easy. But first they had to pass security. Officer Vex 9 was working the security scanner that day. Vex 9 was old. Traditional. He believed in rules. Order. Discipline. He did not like humans very much. He thought they were too emotional. Too unpredictable. He had said this many times before. Emma walked through the scanner. Beep beep beep. The alarm went off. Red lights flashed. "Contraband detected," Vex 9 said in his cold, official voice. Emma looked confused. She didn't know what contraband meant. Vex 9 pointed at her stuffed toy with one of his 6 arms. "Remove the device," he commanded. "It's just Mr. Buttons," Emma said, holding the toy tighter against her chest. "He plays music when I'm scared." Vex 9's eye stalks turned to look at her. "Contraband is contraband. Give it over, human spawn." Captain Torres stepped forward. His voice was calm but firm. "Officer, it's a child's toy. Surely we can find another way?" Vex 9's eyes focused on Torres. "Are you questioning council security rules, human?" "I'm asking for understanding." "For a child?" Torres replied. The room became very quiet. Other aliens started moving away. They knew this look. They had seen humans get angry before. It never ended well. Krill 448 grabbed his recording device. This was not going to be boring anymore. Vex 9 made his move. He reached past Captain Torres with his long arm. He tried to grab Mr. Buttons directly from Emma's hands. Emma stumbled backward in surprise. She fell. But she held onto her toy tightly. She would not let go. Then Vex 9 made his terrible mistake. He struck her. Not a small tap. Not a warning touch. A full, hard hit across her face. The sound echoed through the entire chamber like a gunshot. Smack. Emma fell to the floor. She was too shocked to cry. A bright red mark appeared on her small cheek. The silence that followed was frightening. No one moved. No one breathed. Captain Torres stood very still. Then, slowly he walked to his daughter. He knelt down. Gently, carefully he helped her stand up. "Are you hurt, sweetheart?" His voice was soft. Tender. Emma shook her head. Tears ran down her face but she made no sound. She was trying to be brave. Torres stood up slowly. He held Emma's hand. Then he turned to face Vex 9. When Torres spoke, his voice was quiet. Too quiet. The kind of quiet that makes your blood run cold. "Officer, you just struck a child under diplomatic protection." Vex 9 puffed up his chest. The spawn refused to follow protocol. Physical correction was necessary. "Physical correction," Torres repeated slowly. "On an 8-year-old girl. Species does not matter. Age does not matter. Compliance is mandatory. Krill 448 watched Torres's face change. Every alarm bell in his head started ringing. This was dangerous. Very dangerous. I need to make a call, Torres said. His voice was still unnaturally calm. He pulled out his communication device. Krill 448's recording equipment picked up parts of the conversation. Admiral Morrison? Yes sir, it's Torres. We have a code black situation. Officer Vex 9 just struck Emma during screening. Physical assault on a minor under diplomatic protection. Boss. Understood, sir. 48 hours. Yes, sir, I will maintain position and document everything. Torres closed the device. He turned back to Vex 9, who now looked slightly less confident. Officer, I am formally notifying you that you committed an act of violence against a human child protected by the United Earth Alliance. This incident has been reported to Earth Command. You will hear from my superiors very soon. Vex 9's mandibles clicked dismissively. Human threats mean nothing here. This is Council jurisdiction. Torres smiled. It was not a friendly smile. Threats? Officer, I am not threatening you. I am simply informing you that Earth takes a very serious view of anyone who harms our children. What happens next is completely out of my hands. He picked up Emma. She buried her face in his shoulder. Just before leaving, Torres turned back one final time. Officer Vex 9, I suggest you update your will. You have 48 hours. Then he walked out. Krill 448 sat frozen at his desk, his recording device still running. Something terrible was coming. He could feel it. 48 hours. 2 days. That was all Torres said. But nobody on the station understood what it meant. Not yet. Krill 448 tried to go back to his normal work. He filed reports. He attended boring meetings. He drank his nutrient paste. But something felt very wrong. The air felt heavy. Thick. Like a storm was coming. The first thing he noticed was the humans. Before the incident, humans on the station were loud and friendly. They laughed. They told jokes. They smiled at everyone. But now they were different. Very different. The humans walked through the hallways in complete silence. Their faces showed no emotion. Nothing. They were polite when spoken to. Professional. But their eyes were cold. Hard. Like ice. Krill 448 watched a human engineer pass by a Gorthax who tried to make conversation. The human simply nodded and kept walking. No smile. No small talk. Just silence. It was terrifying. By the second day, Krill 448 noticed more strange things. Human personnel were moving equipment. Slowly. Quietly. They carried boxes from their offices to their ships. Technical gear. Personal belongings. Everything. They were packing up. Where are you going? A Velrani diplomat asked one human technician. Just reorganizing, the human replied calmly. But Krill 448 saw the lie in his eyes. The humans were leaving. Preparing to leave. Phone calls were happening everywhere. Krill 448's sensitive hearing picked up whispered conversations in empty corridors. Confirm position. Yes, Sector 7. Relay to command, evacuation protocol Alpha. These were not normal words. These were military words. Meanwhile, Officer Vex 9 acted like nothing had happened. He walked around the station with his head held high. Proud. Confident. He told other officers about the incident during lunch. The human child was breaking protocol, he said, eating his meal. I simply enforce station regulations. Humans need to learn respect for authority. The other officers nodded and agreed. Humans are too emotional about their young, one said. They will complain to the council and nothing will happen, another added. This is our station. Our rules. They laughed. Krill 448 wanted to warn them. Wanted to say, you don't understand. Something bad is coming. But he stayed quiet. He just watched and recorded everything. Station Commander Thex Prime held a brief meeting about the incident. He read Torres's formal complaint. Then he put it aside. This matter will be reviewed in the next council session, Thex Prime announced. That will be in 6 months. Until then we continue normal operations. 6 months. They wanted Torres to wait 6 months for justice. Krill 448 saw a human observer in the back of the room. The human's jaw tightened. His fists clenched. But he said nothing. He simply stood up and walked out. 24 hours passed. The human section of the station became almost empty. Their offices were cleared out. Their equipment was gone. Only a few humans remained, and they stayed mostly in their embassy area. Captain Torres was one of them. He spent his time with Emma in their quarters. Through the window, Krill 448 could see them having dinner together, reading books, playing simple games. Torres was acting completely normal, calm, like nothing was wrong. But Emma's face still had that red mark. The bruise was turning purple now. The other species on the station started to relax. See? Nothing happened, Vex 9 told his colleagues. Human threats are empty. They are all talk. They are just being dramatic, another officer agreed. By next week they will forget all about this. But Krill 448 noticed something they didn't. The few remaining humans were not random personnel. They were all military. Security officers. Communications experts. Intelligence operatives. People who could handle dangerous situations. And they all watched Vex 9 constantly. Wherever he went, human eyes followed him. 36 hours passed since the incident. Krill 448 was in his office reviewing footage when his assistant ran in. She was a young Zalari, usually very calm and professional. Sir. Sir, she gasped out of breath. What is wrong? Krill 448 asked. The humans, all human civilian ships, they are leaving the station. Right now. All at once. Krill 448 rushed to the observation deck. She was right. Small human transport ships were undocking from the station. One after another. Like a organized evacuation. Families with children. Scientists. Merchants. Tourists. Everyone. Why are they leaving? Someone asked. Maybe they are scared, another alien suggested. But Krill 448 knew better. Humans were not running away. They were getting out of the blast zone. 12 hours left. That evening, Krill 448 could not sleep. He sat in his quarters, drinking calming tea, trying to stop his hands from shaking. Something was coming. Something big. He knew it in his bones. At exactly 6 a.m. station time, the alarm started screaming. Weep, 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 weep. Krill 448 jumped out of his bed. The proximity alarms. Those only went off when something large entered the system. Very large. He grabbed his recording device and ran to the observation deck. Other aliens were running too, still in their sleeping clothes, confused and scared. When Krill 448 reached the deck, he stopped. His 3 hearts nearly stopped beating. On the long-range sensors, hundreds of red dots were appearing, moving toward the station. Fast ships. Warships. Human warships. A junior officer was counting them, his voice shaking. 50. 75. 100. 150. Still coming. 200. Station Commander Thex Prime stood frozen, staring at the screen. How many? He whispered. The officer swallowed hard. Sir. Over 500 ships. And more are still arriving. Someone in the back started crying. Vex 9 pushed through the crowd to see the screen. When he saw all those red dots, his face turned pale. His 6 legs started trembling. Krill 448 pointed his recording device at the largest ship signature on the screen. The Retribution. Humanity's most powerful warship. The ship that had never lost a battle. The ship they called the Planet Breaker. And it was heading straight for them. Torres's 48 hours were up. The human fleet appeared like ghosts from the darkness of space. One moment, the space around Station Omega-7 was empty. The next moment, hundreds of warships materialized from faster-than-light travel. The observation deck was packed with aliens from every species. Everyone wanted to see. Everyone was afraid. Krill 448 pressed his face against the viewing window. His recording device captured everything. By the ancestors, someone whispered behind him. The ships were beautiful and terrifying at the same time. Destroyer-class vessels moved like hunting sharks. Slick, fast, deadly. Their hulls were dark gray, almost black, with blue engine lights glowing at the back. Cruiser-class ships were bigger, longer. They had rows of weapons on both sides. Missile tubes, plasma cannons, rail guns. Enough firepower to destroy a small moon. Then came the dreadnoughts. These monsters were the size of small cities. Massive, heavy, covered in armor plating that could withstand nuclear explosions. Each one carried enough weapons to level an entire planet's surface. How many do you count? Station Commander Thex Prime asked, his voice shaking. 573 ships, sir, a sensor officer replied. And, sir, more are still arriving. More ships dropped out of faster-than-light travel. The red dots on the sensors kept multiplying. 600. 700. 800. This is impossible, Thex Prime whispered. Earth doesn't have this many military ships. Our intelligence said they only have 200 active warships. Our intelligence was wrong, sir, the officer said quietly. Krill 448 understood now. Earth had been hiding their true military strength, keeping it secret. And now, for the first time, the galaxy was seeing humanity's real power. It was overwhelming. The ships began to move into formation, slowly, carefully, with military precision that came from years of training. They formed a perfect sphere around the station. Every angle covered. Every escape route blocked. The station was completely surrounded. "They are boxing us in," a Gorthax officer said, his voice filled with panic. "Can we fight them?" someone asked. The weapons officer checked his console. Then he laughed. Not a happy laugh. A desperate, terrified laugh. "Fight them? Sir, this station has 20 defense turrets. They have 800 warships. We would last maybe 10 seconds. Silence filled the observation deck. At the center of the formation, one ship stood out from all the others. The Retribution. It was twice the size of any other ship. Its hull was painted pure black with red markings along the sides. 4 massive cannon barrels extended from the front. Each cannon was large enough to fly a small shuttle through. "That's the Planet Breaker," someone whispered. "The ship that destroyed the Centauri Rebellion," another added. "The ship that cracked the moon of Theta, 7½ during target practice." Stories about the Retribution spread through the observation deck. Each story more frightening than the last. Some were true. Some were exaggerated. But all of them made clear one thing: that ship could destroy the station with a single shot. Vex 9 stood at the back of the crowd. His confident posture from yesterday was gone. Now he was hunched over. Small. His 6 legs trembled. His eye stalks kept looking at the ships, then looking away, then looking back again. "This cannot be happening," he muttered. "Not over one small human spawn. This is insane." A human security officer stood nearby. He heard Vex 9's words. He turned slowly and looked at the alien with cold, emotionless eyes. "You hit a child," the human said quietly. "What did you expect?" Vex 9 opened his mouth to respond, but no words came out. Station Commander Thex Prime called an emergency meeting. All senior staff, all diplomats, all officials. Council chamber. "Now, move." Everyone rushed to the council chamber. The room was chaos. Aliens shouting in different languages. Some crying. Some praying to their gods. Some just sitting in shock. "Order. I need order." Thex Prime yelled, slamming his fist on the podium. The room slowly became quiet. "We need to establish communication with the human fleet," Thex Prime said. "We need to negotiate. Find out what they want." "We know what they want," a Velrani diplomat said softly. She pointed at Vex 9, who was trying to hide in the back. "They want him." All eyes turned to Vex 9. "No," Vex 9 said, backing away. "No, you cannot give me to them. I have rights. I am a council officer. I was enforcing station protocols." "You struck a child," someone shouted. "It was discipline." Vex 9 screamed back. The argument grew louder. Aliens taking sides. Some defending Vex 9. Others condemning him. Krill 448 watched from his observer's seat. He said nothing. Just recorded everything. Thex Prime held up his hands for silence. "Before we make any decisions, we need to hear what Earth wants. Communications, open a channel to the human flagship." The communications officer worked his console. "Channel open, sir. This is Station Commander Thex Prime of Council Station Omega 7. I request to speak with the commander of the human fleet." Silence. No response. Thex Prime tried again. "I repeat, this is Station Commander Thex Prime. Please respond." Still silence. The human ships just floated there, surrounding the station. All their weapons pointed inward. But no one was talking. The silence was worse than any threat. "Why aren't they answering?" Thex Prime asked, sweat dripping down his face. "Maybe their communication systems are not working?" someone suggested hopefully. "Sir," the sensor officer called out. "I am detecting weapons charging on multiple human vessels." "What?" Thex Prime ran to look at the sensors. "Which ships?" "All of them, sir. All 800 ships are charging their weapons." The room erupted into panic again. "They are going to fire. We need to evacuate. Send a surrender message." Ding. The sound cut through all the shouting. A single, simple message notification. The communications officer stared at his screen, his face pale. "Sir. Message incoming. From the Retribution. From Admiral Morrison himself." Everyone froze. "Put it on the main screen," Thex Prime ordered. The screen flickered to life. 7 words appeared in simple white text against a black background. Send us the one who struck our child. That was all. No threats. No demands for apologies or compensation. No requests for negotiations. Just 7 words. The room became completely silent. So quiet that Krill 448 could hear his own heart's beating. All eyes slowly turned to look at Vex 9. The alien officer's legs gave out. He collapsed to the floor, trembling. No, he whispered. Please no. A second message appeared on the screen. You have 47 hours. Then the screen went dark. The council chamber was frozen in silence. Everyone stared at the black screen where the message had been. 7 simple words. 7 words that changed everything. Send us the one who struck our child. 47 hours. That was the countdown. The deadline. After that, nobody wanted to think about what would happen after that. Vex 9 was still on the floor. His breathing was fast and panicked. His 6 legs twitched. His eye stalks looked around the room desperately, searching for help. For sympathy. For anything. He found none. Well, said Commander Drax, a military officer from the Krellian species. The solution is obvious. Give them what they want. Absolutely not, shouted Ambassador Kreen from the Velrani delegation. We cannot simply hand over one of our own to appease human anger. Appease? Drax laughed coldly. Look out the window, Ambassador. 800 warships. This is not about appeasement. This is about survival. The room exploded into argument. Some aliens thought they should give Vex 9 to the humans immediately. Why should we all die for his mistake? They shouted. Others refused. If we surrender him, we show weakness, they argued. Every species will think they can threaten the council and get what they want. Station Commander Thex Prime tried to restore order. Please? Everyone calm down. We need to think rationally. Rationally? A Gorthax diplomat pointed at the window where human ships surrounded them. There is nothing rational about this situation. Krill 448 sat in his observer's chair, recording everything. He noticed something interesting. The species arguing to keep Vex 9 were the old, powerful ones. The species who had controlled the council for centuries. They saw this as a challenge to their authority. The smaller, weaker species wanted to give Vex 9 to the humans. They had suffered under council arrogance for too long. They were almost enjoying watching the powerful squirm. Vex 9 finally found his voice. He pulled himself up from the floor. You cannot do this to me, he screamed. I am a council officer. I have served for 20 years. I have rights. You had no problem taking away a child's rights? A quiet voice said from the back of the room. Everyone turned. Captain Taurus stood in the doorway. He was not invited to this meeting. But he was there anyway. And beside him, holding his hand, was Emma. The little girl still had the purple bruise on her face. The room became very quiet. Torres walked slowly to the center of the chamber. Emma stayed close to his side, clutching Mr. Buttons, her stuffed toy. You want to talk about rights? Torres said calmly. My daughter had the right to be safe. She had the right not to be struck by someone 3 times her size. She had the right to basic dignity. He looked directly at Vex 9. You took those rights away when you hit her. Vex 9's mandibles clicked nervously. I was enforcing protocol. She refused to comply. She is 8 years old, Torres interrupted. His voice was still calm, but there was steel underneath. She was scared. In a strange place. Surrounded by aliens. Holding the one thing that made her feel safe. He knelt down beside Emma. Show them, sweetheart. Emma lifted her face. The bruise was clearly visible. Some aliens in the room looked away, uncomfortable. This, Torres said, standing up again, is why 800 ships are outside your station. Not because of pride. Not because of politics. Because you hurt our child. And humanity does not forgive that. Ever. Thex Prime stepped forward. Captain Torres, surely we can find a reasonable solution. Perhaps financial compensation? A formal apology? Trade concessions. Torres smiled sadly. Commander, you still do not understand. This is not about money. This is not about trade. This is about justice. Justice? Ambassador Kreen said. What you call justice we call revenge. Call it whatever you want, Torres replied. The result is the same. You have 47 hours. He picked up Emma and turned to leave. Captain, wait. Thex Prime called out. What will happen if we refuse? Will Earth really destroy the station? Kill thousands of innocent people? Torres stopped at the door. He looked back, his expression unreadable. I do not make those decisions, Commander. I am just a captain. But I can tell you this, Admiral Morrison has 3 daughters of his own. The youngest is Emma's age. He paused. What do you think a father would do? Then he left. The council chamber erupted into chaos again. Louder than before. More desperate. X9 saw his chance. While everyone was arguing, he quietly moved toward the exit. Step by step. Slowly. Carefully. He reached the door. Pulled it open. Started to run. He made it exactly 5 steps into the hallway before 2 human security officers blocked his path. They did not touch him. Did not threaten him. Just stood there. Arms crossed. Silent. X9 turned around. Tried to run the other direction. 2 more human officers. He ran to a side corridor. More humans. Every exit. Every hallway. Every escape route. Human security officers were stationed everywhere. Watching him. Waiting. X9 realized the truth. He was already a prisoner. The humans had been guarding him since the fleet arrived, making sure he could not escape. He stumbled back to the council chamber, defeated. They will not let me leave, he said quietly. The humans have blocked everything. Of course they have, Drax muttered. They are not fools. The argument continued for hours. Back and forth. Give him up. Do not give him up. Negotiate. Stand firm. Finally, Thex Prime decided to try one more time to communicate with the humans. Open a channel to the Retribution, he ordered. The communications officer worked his console. Channel open, sir. Admiral Morrison, this is Commander Thex Prime. I request a negotiation meeting. Surely we can discuss. The screen flickered to life. But there was no negotiation. No discussion. Admiral Morrison's face appeared on the screen. He was an older human. Gray hair. Lines on his face from years of command. But his eyes were the most striking feature. They were cold. Empty. Like looking into the depths of space itself. He did not speak. He just stared at them through the screen. Thex Prime tried to continue. Admiral, I understand your anger, but... Do you have children, Commander? Morrison's voice was quiet. Controlled. Thex Prime blinked, surprised by the question. Yes. 2 sons. Imagine someone struck one of them. Hard. Across the face. For no good reason. Morrison leaned closer to the camera. What would you do? Thex Prime had no answer. Morrison continued. I have 3 daughters. The youngest is 9 years old. Her name is Sarah. She has nightmares sometimes. About bad people hurting her. His eyes grew even colder. I promised her that Daddy would never let anyone hurt her. That promise extends to every human child. Every single one. He stood up. You have 46 hours and 37 minutes remaining. The screen went black. Krill, 448, looked around the chamber. He saw the truth on everyone's faces. Earth was not going to negotiate. There would be no compromise. No middle ground. The choice was simple, give them Vex 9 or face the consequences. And those consequences had 800 warships attached to them. 36 hours remained. Station Commander Thex Prime was desperate. He tried everything to change the humans' minds. He sent messages offering money. Lots of money. Enough to buy 3 planets. The humans did not respond. He offered exclusive trade rights. Access to rare minerals. Technology exchanges. Scientific cooperation. Still no response. He even offered to give Earth a permanent seat on the High Council. A position that species waited centuries to receive. Nothing worked. The only message that came back was simple. 34 hours remaining. Krill 448 watched from his office as more human ships arrived. Not hundreds this time. But they were still coming. These new ships were different. Darker. Sleeker. They had markings that Krill 448 had never seen before. What are those? He asked a passing military officer. The officer checked his datapad. His face went pale. Special operations vessels. Black Fleet. Sir, those are the ships Earth uses for extreme situations. What kind of extreme situations? The officer swallowed hard. Planetary invasions. Hostage rescue. Targeted strikes. Sir, the Black Fleet only deploys when Earth has decided that diplomacy is over. More species began evacuating the station. Anyone who could leave was leaving. Ships departed in waves. Families fled to safety. Smart aliens wanted to be far away when the deadline arrived. The station that usually held 50,000 beings now had less than 10,000. And most of those were council officials who could not abandon their posts. In the council chamber, Ambassador Kreen was giving a passionate speech. We cannot bow to human threats, she declared. If we surrender Vex 9, what message does that send? Any species can threaten violence and get what they want. The Council's authority will be destroyed. Many aliens nodded in agreement. But Commander Drax stood up. With respect, Ambassador, you are missing the point. This is not about authority. This is about understanding who we are dealing with. He activated a holographic display. Images appeared showing human history. I spent last night researching Earth's history, Drax said. Specifically, how humans respond when their children are threatened. The results were disturbing. The first image showed an ancient Earth war. The Trojan War. Lasted 10 years. Thousands died. All because one human took another human's wife. 10 years of bloodshed for personal honor. Next image. World War II. A human named Adolf Hitler threatened children. Entire nations united to stop him. 70 million humans died. But they did not stop until he was defeated. Another image. The Siege of Leningrad. Humans ate rats. Ate leather. Ate wallpaper paste. They watched their children starve. But they did not surrender their city. More images flashed across the screen. Wars. Battles. Sacrifices. Do you see the pattern? Drax asked. Humans do not calculate cost versus benefit like we do. When it comes to their young, they do not think rationally. They act on pure instinct. Protection. Revenge. Justice. He pointed at the window where the human fleet waited. Those 800 ships? That is not a negotiation tactic. That is not a bluff. That is a father bringing every weapon he has to protect his children. But this is just one child. Ambassador Kreen protested. One small incident. To you maybe, Drax said quietly. But humans see it differently. To them, every child is sacred. Every child must be protected. If they allow one to be hurt without response, they believe all their children become targets. Krill 448 remembered something he had read once. A human saying, it takes a village to raise a child. But there was another human saying too, hurt one of our children and you face the entire village. Earth was not sending a village. They were sending an army. 24 hours remained. The council was still debating. Still arguing. Some wanted to surrender Vex 9. Others refused. The vote was split almost evenly. Vex 9 himself had stopped talking. He sat in a corner, silent. His eye stalk stared at nothing. He had given up hope. That evening, Captain Torres came to the council chamber again. Emma was with him as always. This time he did not speak to the council. He walked to the observation window and looked out at the human fleet. Emma pressed her small hands against the glass. Daddy, why are all those ships here? Torres knelt beside her. Because you were hurt, sweetheart. And when someone hurts a human child, everyone comes to help. All of them? Emma's eyes were wide. All of them, Torres confirmed. Every ship. Every sailor. Every soldier. All here for you. Emma was quiet for a moment. Then she asked, are people going to get hurt because of me? Torres's expression softened. No, baby. People might get hurt because someone made a very bad choice. That is not your fault. You did nothing wrong. He picked her up. You remember what I taught you? About right and wrong? Emma nodded. When someone does something wrong, there have to be consequences. Otherwise they will keep doing wrong things. That is right, Torres said. And what Officer Vex 9 did was wrong. Very wrong. Now there have to be consequences. Krill 448 was standing nearby, recording. He noticed something about Emma. Despite everything, she was not angry. Not hateful. She was just a scared little girl who wanted to go home. But the 800 ships outside? They were very angry. Very hateful. And they wanted justice. Torres carried Emma toward the exit. On his way out, he paused near Vex 9. The alien officer looked up at him with desperate eyes. Please, Vex 9 whispered. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I did not mean. You meant it, Torres interrupted calmly. You struck her because you were angry. Because you thought she was weak. Because you could. He adjusted Emma on his hip. She was falling asleep on his shoulder. Now you understand what happens when you hurt something that is not weak. When you attack something that has a pack. A herd. A family. Torres looked at Vex 9 one final time. You did not just strike Emma. You struck every human child. Every human parent. Every human who ever loved a child. He walked out of the chamber. The council continued their debate into the night. Voices grew louder. More desperate. At midnight, the sensors detected something new. Sir, the sensor officer called out. Energy readings are spiking on the human vessels. Thex Prime rushed to the console. What kind of energy? Weapons, sir. All 800 ships are charging their main weapons arrays. The room went silent. How long until they reach full charge? Thex Prime asked quietly. The officer checked his readings. At current rate, 24 hours. Exactly 24 hours. The timing was perfect. When the deadline expired, the weapons would be fully charged and ready to fire. The humans were not making idle threats. They were preparing for war. Krill 448 looked out the observation window. The human ships hung in space like patient predators. Waiting. Watching. He thought about all the wars he had documented. All the conflicts. All the negotiations. But this was different. This was not about territory or resources or politics. This was about something far more dangerous. This was about family. And humans, Krill 448 realized, would burn the entire galaxy to protect their family. The question was, would the Council understand that before it was too late? 12 hours remained. Station Commander Thex Prime had not slept in 2 days. His eyes were red. His hands shook when he held his coffee cup. Dark circles under his eyes made him look like a ghost. He stood at the observation window watching the human ships. Their weapons were glowing now. Bright blue energy building in the cannon barrels. Like stars preparing to explode. Sir, his assistant said quietly, the Council has requested another emergency meeting. Thex Prime nodded slowly. Let me guess. They finally want to vote. Yes, sir. The Council chamber was packed. Every diplomat. Every official. Everyone who had a voice wanted to use it now. Because after today they might not get another chance. Thex Prime stood at the podium. He looked tired. Defeated. We have 12 hours, he said simply. We must make a decision. Do we surrender Officer Vex 9 to the humans? Or do we stand firm and face the consequences? I want to speak. Vex 9 stood up suddenly. He had been quiet for so long that his voice startled everyone. You? Ambassador Kreen looked at him with disgust. You are the reason we are in this situation. Please, Vex 9 said. His voice cracked. Please let me speak. Thex Prime hesitated, then nodded. Go ahead. Vex 9 walked to the center of the chamber. He looked around at all the faces staring at him. Some angry. Some scared. Some just tired. I made a mistake, he began. His voice was shaking. I know that now. I should not have struck the human child. I was angry. Frustrated. She would not obey the rules and I lost control. Tears formed in his eyes. Real tears. Not for show. I did not think it would matter. She was just one small child. I thought humans would complain and move on. File a report. Maybe get me suspended for a few weeks. He laughed bitterly. I never imagined this. 800 warships. A fleet that could destroy this entire system. All because I hit a child. He fell to his knees. I am sorry. I am truly sorry. If I could take it back, I would. If I could go back to that moment, I would let her keep the toy. I would smile and wave her through security. I would do anything differently. He looked up at the Council with desperate eyes. But I cannot go back. I cannot change what I did. And now all of you are in danger because of my mistake. Thousands of people. Families. Children. All at risk because of me. Vex 9's voice dropped to a whisper. So I am asking. I am begging, please. Give me to the humans. Let me face their justice. Do not let everyone else suffer for what I did. The chamber was completely silent. Krill 448 felt something unexpected. Sympathy. Despite everything, Vex 9 was showing real remorse. Real courage. But would it be enough? Ambassador Kreen stood up. Very touching, Vex 9. But this is not about your feelings. This is about Council authority. If we surrender you, we admit that humans can dictate terms to us. We admit that violence and threats work. They do work, Commander Drax said bluntly. Look outside. 800 ships prove they work. That is fear talking. Kreen snapped. We cannot make decisions based on fear. We cannot make decisions based on pride either. Drax shot back. The argument started again. Voices rising. Accusations flying. Thex Prime slammed his fist on the podium. Enough. We vote. Now. Right now. He activated the voting system. The question is simple. Do we surrender Officer Vex 9 to human custody? Yes or no? Cast your votes. The chamber became quiet as each council member entered their vote electronically. Krill 448 watched the counter on the main screen. Yes votes, 47%, no votes, 48% abstain, 5%. It was close. Very close. The final vote appeared on the screen. No, 51% yes, 44% abstain, 5%. The council had decided. They would not surrender Vex 9. Ambassador Kreen stood proudly. The council has spoken. We will not bow to human intimidation. We will protect our own. Vex 9 made a sound like a wounded animal. He collapsed completely to the floor. No, he moaned. No, no, no. Vex Prime looked at the screen for a long moment. Then he turned to communications. Send a message to Admiral Morrison. Inform him that the council has voted to retain custody of Officer Vex 9. We will conduct our own internal investigation and— Sir, the censor officer interrupted. The human weapons have reached full charge. Everyone froze. Vex Prime's voice shook. Send the message. Now. The communications officer sent the council's decision to the retribution. For 5 minutes nothing happened. Then a response came back. Admiral Morrison's face appeared on the screen again. His expression showed no surprise. No anger. Nothing. It was like he had expected this answer all along. Commander Vex Prime, Morrison said calmly. Thank you for your response. The council has made its choice. Now we will make ours. Admiral, please, Vex Prime began. Morrison held up one hand. You had your chance. 48 hours. We gave you time. We gave you options. We gave you every opportunity to do the right thing. He leaned forward. You chose pride over justice. You chose politics over a child's safety. That was your decision. His eyes grew cold. Now live with the consequences. You have 6 hours. The screen went black. 6 hours? Someone whispered. But the deadline was 12 hours. Drax understood. They cut it in half. Because we said no. They are punishing us for the wrong choice. Panic spread through the chamber like fire. We need to evacuate. Send another message. Tell them we changed our minds. Activate emergency protocols. Vex Prime tried to restore order, but it was useless. The council was falling apart. Krill 448 gathered his recording equipment and ran to the observation deck. What he saw made his heart sink. The human civilian ships that had been waiting at a safe distance? They were leaving. Moving away. Jumping to faster-than-light travel. Disappearing. Every single human civilian was abandoning the system. But the military ships? They stayed. All 800 of them. And now they were moving closer. Tightening the circle around the station. Krill 448's assistant ran up to him. Sir. All human embassy staff are evacuating. They are boarding military transports right now. What about Captain Torres and his daughter? They are leaving too, sir. I saw them boarding a ship 5 minutes ago. So that was it. The humans were pulling out everyone they cared about. Everyone who should not be here when the shooting started. Krill 448 ran back to his office. He needed to send his reports. His recordings. Everything. If the station was destroyed, at least the galaxy would know what happened. He was uploading files when he heard boots in the hallway. Human boots. Military rhythm. Marching. He looked out his door. Human soldiers were moving through the station in full combat gear. Rifles. Armor. Helmets with dark visors. They were not evacuating. They were taking positions. Krill 448 stopped one soldier. What are you doing? The soldier's voice was muffled through his helmet. Securing high-value targets, sir. When the order comes, we go in fast and extract our objective. Your objective? Officer Vex 9, sir. If the council won't give him to us, we'll take him. The soldier moved on. Krill 448 understood now. The humans were not going to destroy the station. They were going to invade it. 5 hours remained. The station was in complete chaos. Species were fighting to board the last evacuation ships. Pushing. Shoving. Screaming. Everyone wanted to escape before the deadline. In the council chamber, Ambassador Kreen was still arguing. We cannot surrender. If we give in now. Shut up. Commander Drax roared. Just shut up. Your pride is going to kill us all. Vex Prime sat in his chair, head in his hands. He looked broken. Defeated. Krill 448 watched from his observer's seat. He had decided to stay. If the station was destroyed, he would document everything until the very end. That was his job. His duty. 4 hours remained. The human soldiers were everywhere now. In every corridor. Every junction. They had sealed off the detention level where Vex 9 was being held. Council security could not get close. They are already inside our walls, someone whispered fearfully. We have already lost. 3 hours remained. A junior diplomat ran into the council chamber. Sir. Long-range sensors detect more human ships arriving. More? Thex Prime looked up weakly. How many more? At least 200, sir. And they are different. Bigger. These are colony ships. Construction vessels. Medical frigates. Drax understood immediately. They are preparing for occupation. After they take the station, they plan to stay. Rebuild it. Control it. The realization hit everyone like a physical blow. Earth was not just here to punish Vex 9. They were here to take over. To show the Council that human children were not to be touched. Ever. 2 hours remained. Ambassador Kreen was crying now. Her proud voice gone. Replaced by desperate sobs. Please. Someone do something. I do not want to die. Thex Prime stood up slowly. He looked older than his years. Tired beyond measure. Call for a new vote, he said quietly. Sir? His assistant asked. Call for a new vote. Thex Prime shouted. The council members returned to their seats. Most had been trying to escape. Now they filed back in, silent and ashamed. We vote again, Thex Prime said. Do we surrender Officer Vex 9 to human custody? Everyone who wants to live, vote yes. This time the vote was not close. Yes, 97% no, 0% abstain, 3%. Send the message to Admiral Morrison, Thex Prime ordered. Tell him we surrender. Vex 9 is theirs. The communications officer sent the message with shaking hands. 1 hour remained. The response came quickly this time. Morrison's face appeared on screen. He looked satisfied. Like a hunter who had finally cornered his prey. Wise decision, Commander. But you waited too long. You wasted 47 hours debating. Arguing. Choosing pride over justice. Thex Prime bowed his head. We are sorry, Admiral. Truly sorry. Please take Vex 9. End this. We will, Morrison said. But understand this, the deadline stands. You have 1 hour. In 1 hour, whether you cooperate or not, we are coming in. My soldiers will take Vex 9. If anyone tries to stop them, we will consider it an act of war. He paused. Do not interfere. The screen went black. Thex Prime turned to his security chief. Release Officer Vex 9 from detention. Bring him to the main docking bay. Do not resist the humans. Let them take him. The security chief nodded and left. 30 minutes remained. Krill 448 followed the procession to the docking bay. He wanted to see everything. Record everything. Vex 9 was brought out in restraints. He was not fighting anymore. Not arguing. He walked like a dead man. Empty. Hollow. The docking bay doors opened. A human transport ship was waiting outside. Dark. Military. Intimidating. Soldiers marched out in perfect formation. 20 of them. Fully armed. Ready for battle. But there was no battle. Council security stepped aside. Let them through. The soldier in command approached Thex Prime. Commander, we are here for Officer Vex 9. Thex Prime gestured weakly toward the alien. He is yours. The soldiers moved forward. They surrounded Vex 9. Put different restraints on him. Human restraints. Strong. Unbreakable. Wait, a voice called out. Everyone turned. Captain Torres walked into the docking bay. Emma was beside him, holding his hand. The soldiers parted to let them through. Torres walked up to Vex 9. The alien officer could not look at him. Could not meet his eyes. Officer Vex 9, Torres said quietly. Do you understand why this happened? Vex 9 nodded slowly. I hurt your child. Yes, Torres confirmed. You hurt my child. And in doing so you hurt every parent's child. Every human child. You showed the galaxy that children are not safe around you. He gestured to the soldiers around them. These soldiers have children too. Wives. Husbands. Families. Every person on every ship out there is someone's child. Someone's parent. Someone's loved one. Torres knelt down beside Emma. Sweetheart, Officer Vex 9 wants to say something to you. Vex 9 looked at the little girl. At her bruised face. At her big, innocent eyes. I am sorry, he whispered. I'm so sorry. I should never have hurt you. Emma looked at him for a long moment. Then she spoke in her small, clear voice. My daddy says when you do something wrong you have to fix it. How will you fix what you did? Vex 9's voice broke. I do not know. I do not think I can. Then you have to try very hard, Emma said seriously. Because hitting people is very wrong. Torres picked up Emma. Time to go home, sweetheart. He nodded to the soldier commander. He is all yours, Lieutenant. Yes, sir. We will take good care of him. The soldiers escorted Vex 9 toward the transport ship. The alien walked slowly, heavily, like each step hurt. Just before boarding, he looked back one final time at the station, at the council, at the life he was leaving behind. Then he disappeared into the ship. The transport doors closed. The ship undocked, flew back to the Retribution. Minutes later, the entire human fleet began to move, slowly, gracefully. They broke formation and started departing the system. 800 warships, all leaving. The threat was over. Krill 448 stood at the observation window watching them go. The crisis was finished. The station was safe. Everyone would survive. But nothing would ever be the same. Sir, his assistant asked quietly, what do we do now? Krill 448 thought about the question. Thought about everything he had witnessed. Recorded. Documented. Now, he said slowly, we tell the galaxy what we learned. What did we learn? Krill 448 pointed at the departing human ships. We learned that humans are patient, kind, generous, peaceful. He paused. But there is one rule you must never break. One line you must never cross. What line? Their children, Krill 448 said quietly. Never hurt their children. Because if you do, they will bring every ship, every soldier, every weapon. They will cross galaxies, wait decades, spend everything they have. He turned to look at his assistant. And they will never ever stop until justice is done. The last human ship jumped to faster-than-light travel and disappeared. The station was quiet now, peaceful. But everyone who had been there would remember this day, would tell stories about it, would warn others. The day one alien struck one human child.